So this painting is the second painting that I was halfway through before I ever thought about making the channel. So this will be the last that's not recorded from the start. Now, I taped it to the table because generally I move and turn paintings a lot when I'm doing them, and now I have to try and keep them still for the camera, and I can't quite trust myself to do that yet. I'm just taking you around and showing you how far I've gotten and how much I have left to do. Looking at it, I'll admit it doesn't seem like much, but it did not feel like that when I was painting it. I started this painting in December 2023 and I didn't finish it until Hogmanay 2024. That's New Year's Eve to most of you. I only had a little bit to do when I had a break leading up to Christmas and the week after. Then suddenly it was Hogmanay and I was looking at it thinking, no way. There is no way I am letting this thing follow me into 2025. So I painted it all night and I got finished just before the bells. Now, I did frame it on the 1st, but I'm not counting that. The painting itself was done. Never before has a painting or cross stitch or anything else taken me this long to do. I was beginning to feel haunted by it. Now, that doesn't mean I was doing nothing. I was very busy in 2024. I did get a lot done, mostly Christmas and birthday presents. I'm going to be even busier in 2025, only it will be for this channel. I've got some shorts coming to show you just how busy, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. Now, no matter how many projects I did finish, this one was always there, lurking in the background, waiting to be picked up. The main reason this has taken so long is that despite how much I liked the picture, and still do, I have to admit, it was not the best to paint. The canvas wasn't really like a canvas. It was very thin. I have no idea what it's made from. It just did not paint very well. There was an almost rubbery coating on it, which soaked in the paints and they dried patchy. Now, I'm not sure if it was the paint quality or if the canvas material made it patchy, but multiple coats made no difference, so I'm leaning towards the paint. I do have 2 other paint by numbers that are on the same canvas, so I might try coating them with primer first. Didn't do that with this one, and in hindsight, I maybe should have. Now, you may have noticed I have missed most of the number 1s. It's the colour that's at the top of the painting, and I didn't like how pale it was compared to the rest, so I wanted to darken it up a bit, try to get it to look a bit better. So I ended up leaving it all till last. Now, the colour didn't come out very much darker, but it was definitely an improvement in my opinion. Now, I bought this painting in the first place, like the same reason I buy all the other ones, because I loved it. I saw it and it just invoked a feeling of calm and peace in me. It made me want to meditate actually. And sometimes we all need to remind ourselves just to stop and take a breath. And I've said those words to myself many times over the years, or variations of them, when I've been stressed out or worrying about something so much. You know, when it gets that way, your mind takes off at 1,000,000 miles an hour and blows something that was really quite a small thing into some great big monster that had just worse and worse and worse outcomes. When that happened, I would just lie on the floor and take some deep breaths, one after the other. Now, it not only calms the body, it also calms the mind. My head can be my own worst enemy, and well, actually, I think that's true for all of us. And that's why I love meditating so much. The calming effect. And I've been doing it so long now, stress and worry don't feel the same to me anymore. If you've never tried meditating, I seriously recommend it. I'm just talking about sitting down by yourself, focusing on your breathing. It can feel impossible at first because your head will keep butting in. It can be very rude. But the more you practice, the easier it'll be. And it's so much easier to see solutions and deal with situations when you're calm and clear than when you're in full-blown panic mode, that's for sure. Before I made this channel, I'd been listening to an inspirational speaker and he asked this question: if money wasn't an issue, what would you do? Now, My answer was paint. I would keep painting. I had a painting on the go in the kitchen, so I then went and painted, and while I was painting I was asking myself, how could I do this and make money? How could I keep painting? And suddenly I had the idea to raffle them, and of course my head went straight into the house. It wasn't until I was meditating a few days later I had the idea to do the channel. It took me a while, but I got here. If my mind had its way, I wouldn't be. If I'd allowed all its doubts and fears and you're not good enough and who do you think you are to affect me, I would never have made it. Meditating is how you listen to your heart, and your heart is where your true potential lies. It's where the real you is. So do yourself a favour and make the effort to get out of your head and into your heart. Now, even though that's how I got here, I know it might not turn out anything like I've imagined, but at least I'll know I tried, and I'd rather try and fail than fail by not even trying. I mean, look at this painting. I've tried, but I think I have failed. Just look at this. So here's the finished painting. Now, I didn't record the framing of this one. I thought I did, but I was all set up and ready to go, and I realised I'd forgot my staples. So I went out to get them and I moved the camera out of the way. And then when I came back, I didn't move the camera back. So the whole time I thought I was recording framing, the camera was facing the wall, which doesn't make for good videos, believe it or not. So hopefully now that I've made that mistake once, I'm not going to make it again. And maybe it's just as well I did it on this one, because I really don't think this one is ever going to be offered for raffle. I'm really just not happy with it. Now, I did have to put it on a thinner frame than I normally use because there wasn't a lot of excess on this. But I think you can see it best on the back, these creases that are running up, and I just could not pull them out. And even like rolling this stuff on the tube, the way that I store all my paintings, didn't really do much for these creases. So despite what I said in my intro, I might have to try ironing the other two. Now, one I love and one I like, so I think I'll try ironing the one that I like and see how that goes, because I don't want this to happen again. And also, in my effort to pull out those creases, I have ripples. So hopefully that won't happen again. But the thing is, I know that if I was making that for somebody, I wouldn't give it to them. I would scrap it and I would make them something else or buy them something. And it's just a bit shit. Even if it's £1 for a raffle ticket, I don't think that's worth it. And maybe it's just destined to haunt me forever because it took me a year to do it. But now that it's finished, I don't feel so haunted, so it might just have to sit there looking nice at a distance in my little talkie videos out here. Now, I just want to assure you, my next painting is not going to take me a year. I'm already 5 days in. It's coming on really well. It's on the canvas that I like, so there shouldn't be any issues with framing. Hopefully I can manage to face the camera to me and not a bloody wall. Now, this is the picture that it is, and I just love that. Anything that looks a little bit magical is for me, and it's coming out. I think it's going to look really quite close to that picture. Now, thank you for watching. I am going to go and do some more painting. I hope to see you back again. So, bye the now.